My name is Habas Gallardo. I am a graduate of Vanguard Rembrandt Secondary, class of 2020. I am going to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, with the intention of graduating class of 2024, and I am a Gates Scholar.
Thomas Ray Garcia, PSJ North class of 2012, Princeton University, class of 2016. I am a Gates Millennium Scholar.
In my opinion, the Gates Scholarship is sort of like the Superman of scholarships. So I always sort of knew what it was, but in terms of the specifics, I didn't actually start to figure what those were until I spoke with a CSLAP mentor, actually, Mr. Alanis, PSJ graduate, class of 2013, I believe. He told me a lot about the Gates Scholarship, about how he applied, the arduous process that it was, and just knowing that somebody with similar beginnings to mine was able to get the Gates Scholarship and not have to pay a cent in tuition, inspired me to apply. And so I did, and here I am.
I had heard that Bill Gates was offering this scholarship. And back then it was called the Gates Millennium Scholarship, like slightly different. Now there's 300 Gates Scholars every year. Back then there was 1,000 Gates Millennium every year. And it enabled us to get some funding for some graduate programs. But essentially the biggest difference was when you applied, you had to write 8 essays. And that was a huge weeding out process. So I remember reading that this scholarship kind of is like the Superman of all the scholarships because of all the work you had to do. Like you kind of had to be Superman to complete it. So I was very much in the dark in the whole process. When I did get it miraculously, in my opinion, my goal was to move forward to try to help other PSJ students get it. Because to me, not only was it making sure that I can go to college debt free, it covered 100% of my cost of attendance, but funnily enough, I was able to help the class of 2013, one of them being Edgar Alanis, your teacher. And he was my first mentee, and he was the second Gates Millennium Scholar at PSJ North. Like in this very room, we worked together on that application, all the 8 essays. And I'm so glad to see that ripple effect. I didn't know he had let you know about it.
If I could quickly summarize how the scholarship works, it's split into 3 phases. Phase 1 is the shorter, more compacted scholarship application, where you just quickly fill out your organizations, your financial information, housing, education, all that good stuff, and then you submit it. It's checked to see whether or not you meet the requirements and whether or not you advance to phase 2. And that one is really simple to fill out. I don't think that any scholar would struggle with it at all. Phase 2 is the one that is, in my opinion, one of the most lengthy. And for that one, I would really suggest for you to give yourself the necessary amount of time to write the essays, making sure that they're all sincere and they're all well written. Reach out to your English teachers, reach out to CSLAP so they can help you with the content of your essays. And the third phase is the interview. At that point, in the interview, if you do end up in phase 3, be sincere. Don't try and be somebody you're not. Stay true to who you are, because the Gates Scholarship chooses you because of who you are, not because of some facade or image that we try and project onto the public. And the Gates Scholarship will appreciate that.
You should believe in yourself because you have done the work up to this point. Beyond that, it's the academic rigor you put in all these years. Have you taken advantage of the resources and the hard courses your school has offered? Volunteering and leadership, the 2 other pillars, making sure that you're demonstrating leadership and personal success in some way, shape, or form. And what I see often as a mentor for the Gates Scholar application is that sometimes students sell themselves short because they don't consider some activities leadership activities when they really are. For example, volunteering at a church and taking charge and being a visible presence there, despite not having a formal title or not even being elected to the position, it's just something you do every week. That should count as a leadership position. Because you get to define what leadership is, and you're a leadership in your own respective community. whether that's at the school, at your household, or at your church, or any other context. That is what the Gates Scholarship wants to know, especially since phase one is just listing and putting in stuff in the application. Fortunately, you don't have to write 8 essays like we used to back in Gates Millennium Scholar days. But on the other end, you lose that opportunity to describe the activities. In this case, you're trying to just put them all down and show a diverse range of activities and especially leadership qualities. That is what helps you go from phase one to phase two, where then now you have the opportunity to write a couple essays on your experiences.
When you're writing the essays and you're doing your application, you are not allowed to be humble, guys.
I wanted to start by saying, even though it's been 8 years since high school graduation, 4 years since college graduation, Gates is still with me. It started as a simple check. I was able to get my work study requirement covered by the Gates. The Gates is a last dollar scholarship, meaning whatever the university doesn't cover with the cost of attendance, they come in. In that case, I didn't have to work. I can just study more every single week. I had 10 to 15 more hours free every week. But beyond that, as I went through college, I realized it's really about the community. I was able to meet 999 other Gates Millennium Scholars from that year and realized that I'm part of a special family, and I had a built-in set of mentors that I still talk to today.
There's a lot of benefits that I've been able to see from the Gates Scholarship. The first one, you would think would be a financial benefit, but that is not so much the case for me, because I was fortunate enough that my university, MIT, covered my entire cost of attendance. So basically on the financial aid letter, it had a net of 0, meaning that the Gates Scholarship, being a last dollar scholarship, would send me 0. So, you would think, okay, then what's the point of the scholarship? Well, that's just it. The Gates Scholarship is much more than a check writer. And I actually went to the Gates conference a couple of months ago. Even if it was virtual, I still had the chance to hear a lot of the stories that these scholars have. A lot of them really want to make the best out of their college experience. And that's something that I've always struggled with. How do I really take advantage of my college experience? How do I really do it such that college is not just somewhere where I go study, rather it's somewhere where I go to be transformed as an individual? And that was basically the message that the Gates Scholarship was giving me at the conference. If I could just say one more thing about the benefits, is that the Gates Scholarship sort of dismantled my fear of going into MIT. Because think about it. I am a first-gen low-income student. No idea. When I was applying, I had no idea what a lot of these colleges were, nor just the sheer awesomeness that these colleges have. I'm not aware of a lot of the resources that they have. I'm not aware of what office hours are. I'm not aware of internships, study abroad. So I'm going into it knowing nothing. Hear me out, nothing. And, that leads to a lot of fear, a lot of concern as to how my experience is going to be shaped. And I wish it was something that a lot of other first-gen low-income students realized, because they get into these fabulous universities, but they don't know exactly what they have to do to take advantage of these resources. Placing me into a community of scholars with that similar mindset, and at the same time providing a lot of mentorship opportunities for me, it takes away that fear and gives me a sense of confidence.
And Habis, on behalf of the 2012 Gates Millennium Scholars, I welcome you to the Gates family, and especially as part of this more prestigious group of Rio Grande Valley Gates Scholars. You are part of a really important family down here that not only is going to give back to our community in the future, but you're also giving back right now by being an awesome role model. And so I thank you for doing this. And for everybody watching, we are here to help you. We are here to help you through your application. We're here to mentor your students if you're a high school counselor or a teacher, and your children if you're a parent. So please reach out to us, cflapofficial.com. college scholarship leadership access program located in FAR. We are here to help you get to and through college, and part of that is being able to give you the money and the mentorship to thrive once you get there.